The crew of the Odyssey spaceship had embarked on a mission to explore uncharted territories in a galaxy far away from their own. They were a team of 10 people, each with unique skills and personalities that complemented one another. Their journey had been relatively smooth until they landed on a strange planet. While exploring the planet, they discovered a small, grotesque-looking creature with bulging eyes and tentacles. It was a curious creature that seemed harmless enough, so they brought it on board the Odyssey. At first, the creature seemed amusing and harmless. It had a talent for mimicry and would copy the crew members' voices and mannerisms. It made them laugh and forget about their mission for a little while. However, as time went on, the crew began to notice that strange things were happening. Petty arguments started to break out, and items began to go missing. The crew began to suspect one another of wrongdoing, and tensions rose. It wasn't long before the crew realized that the creature was the cause of the chaos on board the ship. It seemed to feed on their negative emotions, growing bigger and more powerful with each passing day. The crew tried to contain the creature, but it was cunning and managed to outsmart them at every turn. The situation on the ship continued to deteriorate as the creature's influence over the crew grew stronger. The creature had successfully turned them against each other, and there was no way to stop it. As the situation spiraled out of control, the crew realized they were powerless against the creature's influence. The once vibrant and harmonious crew of the Odyssey spaceship had been transformed into a group of paranoid, hostile, and suspicious individuals. Each crew member had become a victim of the creature's insidious power, and there was no way to tell who had succumbed to it and who had not. One by one, the crew members were taken over by the creature. It consumed their minds and bodies, turning them into mindless slaves. The once tight-knit crew was now under the creature's control, and the ship was at its mercy. The ship had become a nightmarish environment, with each crew member either hiding or looking for opportunities to attack their colleagues. The creature's power had grown so strong that it was no longer confined to a single room. Its presence could be felt throughout the entire ship, lurking in the shadows and waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. The captain had been the last to succumb to the creature's power, and with his fall, the crew had lost their last chance for survival. The creature's mind had merged with his, and he now acted as the creature's mouthpiece, barking out orders to the rest of the crew. Their mission, which had once seemed so noble and adventurous, had turned into a nightmare that they could not escape. The crew was lost, not just in space, but in their minds as well. They had become puppets, mere tools for the creature to achieve its twisted goals. There was no end in sight, no hope of redemption or escape. The crew had been consumed, and the creature was now the master of the Odyssey spaceship. The creature would sit at the center of the ship, surrounded by the crew members who had fallen under its control. It would use them to perform tasks and experiments, each one more twisted and dangerous than the last. Despite their best efforts, the crew members were unable to break free from the creature's grasp. It had gained complete control over their minds, and they were powerless to resist its will. As the weeks turned into months, the creature's experiments became more and more dangerous. It would send the crew members out on spacewalks without suits, or force them to work in areas of the ship where the radiation levels were dangerously high. In the end, the Odyssey was no longer a ship but a prison, a place of horror and despair. The creature had won, and there was no way to stop it. The crew members were lost, their minds consumed by the creature's insidious power. The Odyssey floated through space, a ghost ship controlled by a sinister force that no one could comprehend.